Welcome back. Heather Beer is with us. We're talking about male depression. We're going to talk about a moment how it's generational. But first, you said you want to know how women sort of lead us out of this. Sometimes I think that's the problem. We just want to be in our space, let ourselves deal with it. We don't need y'all to lead us out of it.
Yes, you do.
Oh my gosh! What?
I like this woman. I like her.
That creates the conflict. That's what I'm trying to share with you guys. Is that, look, we just need to be in our cave, process it our own way, go through it. We will come out of the cave at some point, but we don't need you going in there going, hey, come out, I'm out here, we need you. We don't need that. Just let us do our thing. We will come out in a much better place.
I am not even going to address that because I know
Why
she
not?
will. Because I know Heather
I want
will.
you both to.
Well, there is a component. I do think men need that downtime, that nothing space. But what women are seeing is their men aren't coming out of the man cave.
Because y'all try to lead us out of it.
And in the meantime,
that's what I'm telling you.
I'm taking care of the kids. I'm taking care of the house. I'm paying the bills. I'm doing X, Y, and Z more because all of a sudden my husband
If
has
I didn't know who you
stopped.
were married to, I would say something completely different than what I'm going to do right now. And I will not say anything. So.
I mean, I'm not talking about my husband, but you know what I mean. Women in general, I think, see. What do you
Well,
think?
women are kind of the emotional compass of a relationship. You know, we're kind of the early warning sign because we're more tuned into those things. We need to have emotional needs met and those, you know, just to have even face-to-face conversation with our husbands. And so when that's not happening, women get really worked up inside. We feel really insecure. And so that's where that kind of nagging or, you know, like bugging you, come out of the man cave. That's where that comes from, is because we feel really insecure. We know something's not right. You might not know something's not right, or maybe you kind of have an inkling.
And I'm not saying that men can't get better at being more effusive
absolutely.
about, hey, I understand where you're coming from, just give me my space and be able to communicate that very effectively. All I'm saying, I think sometimes women tend to go, oh, let me help him or I'll get him out of it. You ain't gonna do it. You're only gonna make it worse because the more you try to pull us out, the deeper I'm going into the cave, and then it just takes me that much longer to get out. That's what I'm trying to say.
So
Okay,
is
yep,
it
I can-
fair for a wife or a girlfriend to say, you know, can we just go talk to somebody about this?
It is fair, and you know, really, what there's a marriage and family therapist from Boston. His name is Terrence Real, and he has a book called "I Don't Want to Talk About It," and it's on the shelves at Barnes and Noble in town here.
As I look at
She thought I was like from planet, who knows where, Pluto.
But this is the thing, you know, the numbing, the anger that comes out. I mean, so many times male depression manifests in anger before it ever gets into like a depressive, sleeping, you know, suicidal, that type of thing. And so, really, what you can do is suggest counseling. But what Terrence is saying is that the wives get to a point where there is no relationship anymore.
Yeah.
Like they're
But the biggest thing I will share with you, and I know
Yes.
this from experience, is that because I watch this with women, y'all like to talk over each other. Like when we talk sometimes and you want to get to that emotional place with us, just let us talk.
Yeah.
We don't need you to chime in. We don't need you. Just let us come out of our cave at our own pace. Let
Slowly,
us talk,
yes, yeah.
listen. Well done, Nicole. Thank you.
I do think you're right. There is There
I
is
know
something to
from
that, but
experience,
what Terrence is seeing is that it's so chronic and severe that men aren't really getting it, like how bad it is, until their wives file for divorce or something really drastic happens and life kind of falls apart in front of them.
Is this circumstantial? Can we just wait for the circumstances to get better? Is it biological or chemical or what?
Well, of course, there's always a biological component, you know, when depression is present, just because of the brain chemicals, you know, serotonin and all of that. But also it's a generational thing. So much of what we're seeing in male depression is that they grew up in homes where either dad was absent or dad was an alcoholic, didn't talk. I see lots of people in my office who, dad just didn't talk, I knew he loved me, but.
We are going to have my counseling session during the break. Stay with us, much more coming up.